Hi guys, this is Sue. I just wanted to give a quick warning about the audio between Robyn and I. I don't know what happened, but it's a little buggy, and this is all a learning curve, so hopefully we won't be running into this in the future. Fortunately for us, his audio is great, and I think that's the most important part. I did also forget to mention in the intro that this is side gag. And this will be a two-parter because we were having way too much fun. The stories that Isaac tells is so beautiful, and we get a really great insight into what kind of person and friend he is. So I really hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you so much for hanging in there. And again, so sorry for the audio. I will do my best to make it a really good and fun show in the future. And enjoy part 1 of this episode.
I love that you're doing it together because you're super chill and you're the opposite.
Yeah.
You have like
you didn't see our caption.
you have like this manic energy.
Yes.
I'm closer to you than I am to you, Robyn.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You're gonna be a reoccurring guest. So
Okay.
it's gonna be fun.
Well, let's not get too excited.
Whoa.
You ever go
backtrack now.
on a date and you're like, whoa, and you're making all these plans for
And you're
future
like,
events,
wow,
and then you
we're
go
gonna have 5 kids.
and you go home and you're like, I don't think I like that person, but you've already planned like a
think
month
so?
of dates.
I've never done
You
that.
know, it's
Oh, I've done that.
I treat that
Really?
as a red flag when someone plans to sleep too early. I'm sorry. No, it's true.
We're off to a great start.
No, fuck, she hates you.
That's a big problem with me when I was dating. When I was on dating apps, because I was so preoccupied and I tried so hard to make the girl like me that I didn't check in with myself to see if I actually
you know
liked
what?
her, and
I've
so
done that too.
Oh,
That
well.
I can.
Yeah.
I think
But
we've
Yeah.
all
does
done
anyone
that.
date in the present? That's kind of impossible. I know as women, like I was talking to a friend about it last night. And it's like you do project. You see a single photo and you're like, oh my god, would they be like kind of cute to have on my wedding day? So don't worry, you're not alone
Yeah.
there.
And then you go to their house and you see how disgusting it is, and you're just like, never mind. All plans with the future have been
You're
squashed.
like, yep, mom does
Yeah, that's
laundry.
cool. Fuck that.
Drops
shit.
it off.
But it's nice to know that my whole essence is a red flag to you.
She's like, fuck that.
Also, my mom is a comedian. Isaac's mom was a comedian, and my mom was also the one to be like those comedian types. She's
They're
the first
awful.
one to like.
Oh, my mom was always like, those
Never
artist
date
types.
one.
My mom would say, I hate artists. I hate the way your brains work.
Oh,
Well,
Say things
so
to that effect.
did your mom say that?
you know what?
Okay.
Yeah, we
Let's talk
were.
about moms.
Yeah.
I agree with her.
But yeah, see, we all have like artist mothers. Well,
I do feel like we're a triangle of like connections because
Yes.
we have
Yeah.
the Asian mom.
yes.
So your mom
we
is
have
half
Asian
Japanese,
mom.
half
I told
Korean.
Robyn she could be Asian. She doesn't know yet.
My girlfriend's mom got us the 23andMe kits. We just haven't done them yet. Did you do
You
it?
didn't do it yet?
I didn't do it yet. No.
So
Oh,
that's how
okay.
I knew. So that's how I officially knew like how much percentage of Japanese I am.
Which is what?
I think it's 10%.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're probably the same.
Probably the same,
Yeah.
but like I want to get my mom to test to see what her percentage is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's actually a Korean drama that came out of the time period where Japan occupied Korea back in like.
That's
the
how you learn
40s.
about your family is by watching.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god. It was in the 40s. We
Yeah.
all had like the 40s outfits, like back when Korean Japan. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
very specific look, if you
Mhm.
know what it is. And so she's
Nope.
like, "This is my family's time period." She's
Yeah.
like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not watching that."
Yeah. Oh, really?
There's still a ton of questions though.
There's
I
a
love that
lot.
your mom is like, this should really come with the trigger warning. I don't care for this.
Well, no, I've seen a lot. I mean, I've had some stories. Like, I love my lineage. I love both my lineage, but Japanese people were not nice to Koreans.
No, my grandma is just like, don't talk to me about Japanese anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
remember.
But she, I mean, like, legit, like, awful trauma, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. And it was, like, not too long ago. It was.
Okay, here's my question. I want to talk about both
Yes,
of your moms.
Okay.
But-
by the way, everyone, today is guest is Isaac Goodhart.
Yes.
Say hello, Isaac.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks
And
for coming by.
we are really pumped to have Isaac on today. So
Really.
Isaac is a comic book artist, full time. That's what he does. You were discovered in 2013
Yeah.
by Top Cow Talent Search.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have a connection through school. So you were both SVA students,
Yeah.
but not at the same time.
No, not at the same. He's a year older than I am, so he's ahead of me.
Yeah, my
Gotcha.
first memory of you, Sue, is at Edwin's Like-
I believe it.
apartment that he
I
had
think
in
so.
Queens.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's when I
Astoria,
first.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember like drawing my first comic for Xenoscope or Zenoscope comics. Yeah, and then and he was like, "Oh, my friend Sue is coming," and we just like drew together in like sort of like a makeshift.
nice little
That's my
studio.
first
Yes,
memory.
that's-
I'm sure we met before then, but that's.
Did we work at Dylan's together before that or after?
I feel like after, right? I think
don't
I know. I don't
remember.
remember. I
You
mean,
guys did say you don't remember when you first.
It's a
No.
lot of I don't remember. It's been a long time.
well, it's I was working at Dylan's Candy Bar in 2010, so that's a decade ago.
So I think I
God.
started a little before you, right?
Did you?
Did we start at the same time? So guys, also, we used to work at Dylan's Candy Bars in New York City.
You don't graduate art school with a job
You
in
know,
art.
That's right. When you get
That's
out of art
obligatory.
school,
Yeah.
you're not a fucking comic.
Oh, you got an art degree?
Yeah.
Welcome to retail.
So you're gonna work for $6 an hour.
Or you hand out promo materials.
You
on
work
the street.
$6 an hour to pay $1,000 in student
Absolutely.
loans a month for the rest of your life. Yeah. By the way,
You
they
always
just.
remember, like, you and Isaac are doing great.
Yeah. Well, now, yeah.
But you recently worked with GC, so
Yeah.
it dropped May 7th. It was Under the Moon of Catwoman.
I cannot believe that you remembered May 7th. You're amazing. Yeah. How do you know all these things?
Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you also worked on Postal. So that was a series with Brian Hill.
Yes. Yeah, Brian Hill. Big time Brian Hill. Yeah, that's what we call him in Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
No, yeah, I worked with Brian on Postal for 27 issues, and it was great. It was awesome. I loved working with him. We were talking on the phone recently about doing something new together. So not for the next few years, but we're still in touch. I still love him, and I'm so excited seeing him blow up. He's like famous. He's one of the guys now. He's on the X books now.
Well, but you are too.
I'm very lucky. I'm very happy.
Isaac is becoming so fucking popular so fucking fast.
Is it? Wow. Which
Yeah,
Isaac?
I would like to call you the sweetheart of comics.
Oh, I don't care for that.
I don't care what you think, but
But
everyone loves Isaac, and that's a fact.
Oh,
Everyone.
off
adores
mic,
him.
I'm going to tell you all the people that hate me.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, because you know
Yeah.
what?
Why?
Though? I have a lot. I'm sure I have a lot of people who hate me.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, don't agree with me.
You know what it is? It's not that I'm agreeing. I'm trying to meet you halfway. I bet because we share the same brand of
But we
neurotic,
do,
and so we walk
yes.
around going like, "Here, it's me. I haven't talked to him in 4 months. That probably
What can
may
I-
offended
it's
them."
Like dating. What can I do to make you
Yeah,
love
yeah,
me?
yeah,
But
yeah,
ultimately,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you hate me,
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
You
left
can't play
left
hard
to my
get.
own
You cannot
devices.
play hard to get in this.
No. No, I know. I feel like I'm like a trained seal on a unicycle juggling. Like, how about now? Do you like me now? Do you like me now?
Everyone I know loves you, and I
That's
feel like
nice.
on social media.
Oh, that's nice.
Everyone is. You're just like. I feel like you're really like launching so fast, and you're gonna be so fucking well known, and you're gonna be like a household name.
That's so
And-
sweet.
But like, it's true. Like Isaac is a sweetheart. Everyone, he's like the it boy of comics. I think. Truly, because everybody loves Isaac. Everybody who knows Isaac loves him, and that's a fact.
That is.
Are you a huge Batman fan? Is that accurate?
I love Batman.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? I love that you're changing the subject. I feel like because Robin is the person who does the research.
We're cutting this.
Robin does the
She's like,
research,
can I fucking like get
and
my
so
homework
and so
in?"
she's listening to you, Sue, say like, "Oh, he's so popular," and Robin's like, "I didn't find that in my research." How do you feel about Batman? I don't know. I actually checked his social media.
All right.
Anyway, season 2, episode 3.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That I feel like.
I was not trying to. The love fest.
Thank God you did.
Not at all.
But this is...
My body was getting tense.
Oh my God, no. But we are so lucky to have Isaac because this is officially episode 1. And hopefully Isaac will be back.
Yeah.
Every so often.
Yeah. Also, this time we're going to talk into the mic the whole time.
Hopefully.
That's great.
Because if I get excited, I can't help it. Also, my studio is in the works. I mean, this is pretty, like, randomly put together.
It's in the works. You've been here for 5 years.
No, the podcast setup, you know.
Oh, gotcha.
I know it's not as comfortable. Hopefully, I'll have, like, a better setup.
I'm actually very comfortable.
I'm very comfortable.
We're gonna go to IKEA, get a curtain.
This is that artist brand of neuroses at work now.
Well, if you know me, I'm fucking neurotic as shit.
I feel like that's why we get along.
I know.
Yeah.
We could work out our
Whereas I
problems
just feel
together.
Like, but your good is never good enough. I
Never,
think someone
ever.
Like you is what
I'm gonna get soundproofing. I also have like
snap.
an idea of making like my breakfast nook area in the living room like a soundproof area.
Oh, wow.
More comfortable. I have like all these things. So, you know, like when we get our friend Josh, it's gonna change, and when you're here next again, it's gonna change. So,
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry.
There's nothing to apologize about. This is great.
Yeah, actually, it's
That's so
very
funny.
I also have mini cinnamon rolls for you guys from
Yeah.
Whole Foods.
Isaac did point out that munching food sounds are...
It's the rage now, right? Everybody loves
It's the
food.
number one
Extremely
favorite
soothing.
thing on podcasts.
I think so.
Listening to people eat.
This
I
is
love
just
it.
Snacking. Yeah.
And, you know, little disclaimer to Isaac and to our future guests. You are on the internet.
Oh boy.
Anything you say will be on the internet forever, and whatever happens to you is not our fault. That's it.
And that's the end of this podcast, because now I
He's
am
leaving.
scared.
Yeah.
And we lost him.
What's your sign, Isaac?
That's true.
I am a Scorpio.
Oh!
Yeah, do you know what that means? Can you tell me? Because I
know.
don't...
I have a
You got
friend-
very excited, though. I was like, oh, she might be able to tell me who I am.
That means your birthday's in mid-November.
Yeah, November 12th.
That's right, because my
Okay.
dad's birthday is...
You were at my birthday.
That's right.
I like that in your mind you're like figuring it out.
You know
The
what?
last time we saw each other was at my birthday
at your
in
birthday.
mid-November.
Yeah, that's
Alright,
Yeah.
How did I know?
You're a genius.
Holy shit! No, and then
Okay.
I have an ex who was also used to be a Scorpio. So
Was he a maniac?
no, he was very type A as well.
I heard
But
that
not a maniac.
I'm not type A at all. I'm a mess.
I'm
I
a
heard
type A.
that we Scorpios hold grudges a lot. Is that true?
I'm reading up on you guys.
Yeah. Can you?
I have a friend who's
behavior.
really
Calm
good
and
at
cool.
this.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, that's
Also,
not right.
strengths of a Scorpio.
But my ex is calm and cool.
Was he calm?
Was
Okay.
he?
Yeah, but we're not talking about him anymore. Anyways, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
And then what's your favorite food?
Chicken.
What? What kind of chicken?
All of it. My friend, so I'm on this this diet
Chicken
where
diet.
like it's like as bare as possible. I'm not good at it, by the
You
way.
like a
I eat
paleo or
mostly
keto?
candy. My diet is mostly candy.
Candy?
But my diet should be just like
How do you
chicken with
lift?
little seasoning. Huh?
How do you lift with candy?
How do I lift with candy?
Yeah, like, this guy's Isaac works out. He's
'Cause-
a lifter. I clicked on one of your Instagram stories by accident, and it was of you lifting weights, and I was like, "Oh, that was weird. I'm sorry. Like, it's gonna make it seem like I'm like watching you work out." And it was my finger
That's so
being weird
funny.
On Instagram, and I was like, "Well, why do I feel guilty?
Yeah, 'cause
You're the
I-
one who fucking
Yeah, I
posted it, you
definitely
know?
looked at who viewed the story. I was like, Sue's got a crush on me. New
Oh my
developments.
God, big time. Why do I think we're
So
friends?
my friend Sebastian calls it apocalypse chicken because it's just salt and pepper seasoning, and that's what you're supposed to eat when you're lifting.
Oh, when I was doing MMA, Muay Thai, it was like a lot of people in the gym were like, no seasoning, bare minimum.
Yeah,
boring
yeah.
food.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Veggies.
But you know, like whenever Target has like the seasonal Easter like jelly beans or whatever, I'm like,
Oh.
I can't stay away.
So
Oh, I feel like
It's only here for a limited time. Like all that marketing stuff really works on me.
Really?
Oh,
Doesn't Danielle have to
100%.
pull you away?
She's got something to say
Yeah, she's
every
like,
time I
"You
come
stop
on with
fucking
candy.
eating that
Yeah,
shit."
but she tries to like her whole thing is that
She's
she's not
healthy.
gonna control. She's super healthy.
So I,
Yeah,
how long
yeah,
you
yeah.
know Danielle?
Oh my
This is,
god.
10 years.
She worked at the
Yeah,
at
we all met at Dylan's Candy Bar.
You
Yeah.
guys
Yes.
are kidding.
The
No,
three
Yeah.
of us
Wait,
worked
so you
together.
love sweets Sweets, you worked at Dylan's Candy Bar.
Yeah.
I
Did you
fucking
lose your
hate
shit?
candy.
Yes, every day that you would find me at the end of my shift just covered in candy. I'm missing a shirt for some reason. I'm just in the back, just like in a daze.
Covered in chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm in the chocolate fountain. I'm like bathing myself.
Yes.
But Danielle is she's actually a health coach, so we
That's
couldn't be
right.
more opposite now. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet she yells at you all the time.
You know, like her thing, if she were here, she would say, I never do that, I never control. But the truth is, she's like, maybe under her breath, she'll be like, you wonder why you can't lose weight. Like, it'll be like stuff like that. So she won't say, don't get ice cream, but she will say, like,
Oh, I straight up.
sugar's addictive.
Yeah, I'm like, don't get ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
But then I bought that for you guys, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
she
the only
did.
time that I haven't even had one.
You're an enabler. That's what that means.
No, it actually was very mommy to come with snacks. I feel very taken
Well, I
care
try to
of.
take care of my guests and my,
Sue's
co-host.
extremely hospitable.
I want everyone to
We
be
took our
comfortable.
shoes off instantly.
Oh
We
yeah.
were all
You
very.
cannot fucking wear shoes in my house. You have to also wash your hands before you get touch
especially
anything.
I washed my hands 3 times since I've been here.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need lotion, I have that too.
Okay.
But yeah, so just chicken, just plain chicken right now.
Yeah.
Like fried chicken, baked chicken.
Oh,
anything.
all of it.
Chicken.
All of it.
Chicken.
If people are like,
Yeah.
where do you want to go out to eat? Are you just like.
Do they have
Chicken.
chicken? Yeah. Banchan chicken.
Oh my god.
Chicken nuggets.
Fried chicken nugget.
Chicken pepper, whatever it is. I have a question to go back 100 topics ago.
Sure.
So your mom, you grew up with a Asian mom, Asian household.
Yeah, but she was super liberal, old school. Like, she still has an accent and everything, and she's like very deeply Asian still, but she's like, she loves Wonder Bread, she loves mayo, things like that.
That's still very much on brand. Like my mom,
she hates whole wheat bread.
My mom was like, "Oh, Spam? Have you heard of Spam?"
Yeah. Spam. No, but that's very Asian, right?
That's very Asian. Yeah. Well, so is Wonder
Yeah.
Bread.
Oh, so your mom is your first generation?
My mom was born here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
my mom was not
but
born
she identified very strongly with being Korean. Like she didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she wasn't like, oh, we need to see, which is weird because my grandparents, who both live here, they're neighbors.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, to you, Sue. But they were like, because they came here from Korea during the Korean War, and they were like, oh, we need to assimilate yesterday. Like we need to white bread this up.
Yeah.
And then and my mom was like, what? I'm Korean. I love being Korean. I'm gonna do all the Korean things.
No,
So.
my mom too, for sure. Like, I talked to my mom in Korean when I was home. That's the reason why I'm so fluent in both languages.
Okay.
Is because I grew up like
Interesting.
that. But also, she's American. Like, she loves American food. You know what I mean? Like, she's like part of like everything.
Sure. Yeah.
She's like old school American. You know what I mean?
Did you ever have like culture clashes with your mom since you were born
No.
here? So, really? So there was no like tiger parent thing. That's what everybody.
Oh, so my mom was super fucking liberal. So,
That's amazing.
Well,
You should
here's
say
the
she's
thing.
very supportive
Well, here's the
of
thing.
the
Well,
art, too,
my mom used to be
especially.
a fashion designer. In fact, my mom and my dad used to work together.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yeah.
she's all about the art world.
Yeah.
Tiger mom in the sense like I did piano classes.
Uh-huh.
She took me to art, like art tutoring. But that's like very Asian, right? Like going to tutoring and stuff like that. But it was never like you have to.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Jewish sometimes.
Right.
Depends.
Yeah, I know.
Depends.
No.
But I'm like,
So that's
yeah.
yeah. But she was supportive of
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Yeah, no, but she was never like you should go into like
Yeah.
business or nothing like. She never had an opinion of what
That's
I want to do.
That's incredible to me. Just because my mom was the opposite, but she also said like, oh well, I'm saying these things because I'm Korean, and no Korean parent would let their kid go into art. That's what I got.
My face is like, well.
What about your dad though? Was there like kind of an imbalance there? Was like
Yeah.
So how was your dad like?
My dad is like, he's my biggest fan, and he always has been. He was like, oh, you gotta.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, to him, he feels like art is a calling. He said this. He made a speech.
Oh.
He made a speech for my graduation, my SVA graduation dinner. So it's like my family and like one or two friends, and my dad like stands up in the restaurant to give a speech about how art is like something that you don't decide to do. Art chooses you, and you have to.
Because isn't it true though? It's so difficult to do.
And it's
Why
also
the
a
fuck
compulsion.
would you do it?
Like you don't you feel you have to?
No, I wish. Oh my god, I wish.
Okay.
No, I know. No. I wish I could
People
say
are-
yes.
it's compulsion. Like,
I know.
you
I mean, there's.
must.
I want to be a yes-ander, I really do,
Yeah.
but I hate to be the guy that like throws the grenade in the conversation. It's like contrarian time. I feel like for me, and I wonder if you feel this way. So I feel like there are like the superstars, and for them I feel like art is a calling, and they literally can't not draw. Like Kim Jong-gi can't not draw. And for them, yes. And then there are the guys that and I feel like I'm closer to this, where we just grew up loving comics so much, we were just like, I'm going to make this my job no matter what. Like, I will stay up until 5 a.m, and I'm just going to live, breathe, eat comics. And, you know, like, all of our influences are other comics, other comic book artists, and so we're that category, you know, like the workhorses. Because, you know, if you look back in any other decade, you know, the 80s, 70s, 60s, there are the 5 guys at the top, but there are hundreds of other comic book creators. I feel like I might be in that group. Not to put myself down, I'm very lucky, and there's a place for me in comics for sure, and I'm very, very happy.
You work very hard.
Yeah,
If
but
you
I
didn't
don't
know,
have that
yeah.
that talent or that way of thinking. I think that so.
Have you ever read some of the old 80s stuff of like really like big time artists? It's not that good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're bad. It's just you learn.
The pace.
You get better.
No, I agree with that. I'm not. Yeah, and maybe in 10 years I'll be, you know, saying something totally different. You know, I don't know. I just think a lot about.
You're right there. There's
where
a
I am now, and
between being like compelled to do something as
How do you feel?
as just loving it.
I want to say it is my calling because I want to do it so badly.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up. I mean, of course, we all read comics, but I was also like, I just love drawing, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't think I'm anywhere near the people who are like, bam, automatically talented. I have to work really hard to make it look good. I don't think I'm not where I want to be at all, and I still think I'm shit, right? It's like I want to stop laughing at me.
This don't take the laughter as a co-signing. Yeah. The title of the episode.
Stop laughing at me. No,
I'm shit. Stop laughing at me.
So here's where I am. It's like, I feel like this is what I was meant to do in this universe. I want to do this so badly, but I suck still, so I must work really hard no matter what.
Yeah, that's 100% how I feel.
We're in the same category then.
Yeah. And I'm not as bad
What you guys
as I
are hearing,
was.
I just want the listeners at home to know this is textbook imposter syndrome. I just want.
It's not imposter. It's not real.
Yeah. But it's also But I think too.
Well, there's what I'll say to you, Robyn, is that there's a very fine line between imposter syndrome and self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. I know where I am.
We might be right, and you might be wrong.
That's true. I am biased.
I know where I am.
I like both of them a whole lot. So it's true.
Oh, that's nice. What I will say about you, Soo, and we talked about this a while ago. The cool thing about your style is that you can't know where you're going to be in 5 years.
I can't. You can.
You cannot. The way that you're going, and the way that you're improving, and the way that you're experimenting, that makes you a very exciting artist, and you have a very interesting style. So I don't know where you're. Let me finish. So. And those are what make great artists, you know, top of the industry, right? Is that unpredictability. My style, you can extrapolate it, which is not to say that one is better than the other or whatever, but you can look at Under the Moon and Catwoman Tale, and you could go, oh, this is where Isaac's going to be in 10 years or 15 years. Your style is so unpredictable. You know, and that's what makes me excited about your art. Here we go.
The flip side is I need to get my shit together because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, the flip side is going off what Isaac said. I'm like, you can look 5 years in the future, or you can look 5 years in the past and see where you grew.
But it's like, I also feel you're 100% correct, because the past even a few months when I started going freelance full time, I was like, you know what? I'm not where I want to be. I want to experiment. Like I have something else. I know there's something else I can go for.
That's what makes you so fucking cool, though. That's what people are going to respond to. Well, flip side or not, it's all going to amount to like something really exciting.
So. I fucking better. I'm getting older.
I mean, the fact that you're 31, you're like in the game is it? That's an accomplishment. I
feel like I'm barely in the game. I'm like,
okay, that's enough.
I'm barely in the pool, in my opinion.
I wonder if that's a you thing.
Sorry, I got it.
If it's a me.
Yeah, well, I was having a conversation. No, because I was talking to, like, I'm not gonna say her name, but she and still is a big name in comics. Mm-hmm. Like big too, like fans, blah blah blah. And so I remember like being very intimidated by her, going up to her table anyway, just to tell her what a big fan I am of her work. And we were just chatting, and she was very generous. She was a very generous conversationalist, very sweet, very nice. And we were talking about like the cool kids in the comics industry, because there are cool kids that work in comics, and I'm very much not a part of that group. Yes, and so we were talking, and she was. And because I thought that she was so cool and just like part of the group, and she was like, I feel like I'm on the outskirts, like I'm just banging at the door trying, and so that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like we all feel this way. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. I guess we do.
But even like Stuart Immonen and Adam Hughes, like to me, you don't get higher than those guys. Like they're
top of the line.
They're top of the line, and even they are still like, oh, I'm not doing well enough. Like, I need to, like, up my game. I need to do better. You know what? I used to, like, if you're listening to this, you can't see Sue's face, but her eyes just bugged out of her skull and fell on the table. I feel like that used to make me feel very depressed and like, oh, well, what is the point if this never ends? This feeling of inadequacy is just going to be here for the rest of my life. Now I'm really into it. Now I'm
I agree. I'm into that.
I think there's comfort in knowing the personal cap may never be reached. In terms of how we feel.
But I hope it doesn't, though.
Yeah, I hope that I'm always like, I need to get better, and that is one of the things that I love about my dad. So like
let's go back to your
now that I'm living with my dad. Oh, yeah. All right, let's not get crazy. But now that I'm living with my dad, we're having these conversations that we never used to have before, and he's just like, he'll just like come into my room and sit down with me while I'm drawing. And he's 66 years old now.
Oh, and my mom's about maybe the same.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Let's set him up. And yeah. Let's get them both on the podcast, and we'll figure this out.
There's a lot of my mom's like, oh, I don't know.
And it'll be like blind date.
Yeah.
My mom's very sweet.
Is she on Farmers Only? Because my dad is. Anyway. Really? Oh, he really is. And so he'll sit down next to me and he'll start talking to me. And we were talking about, he was like, Isaac, what is the difference between non-binary and gender fluid?
Oh,
so he's asking these questions, and that's what I want to be like. I want to like always have, because there are a lot of people that are my dad's age that'll just go, nope, I'm all good. I learned all the things.
Mom's not like that either.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because there are those people that are like, absolutely. I've learned all the things. This is the way that I am. And I mean, the same part of that's got to be the same part of your brain. The part of your brain that goes like because even if you stop growing, the world isn't going to stop with you. The world is continually changing. So you want to.
Around my dad, so I know
sure.
Exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I don't want to calcify with age. I want to keep like improving and learning and because you see a lot of people that are dismissive of. And it's always like older white guys, like a dismissive of Billie Eilish. Like, oh, actually, I'm saying older white guys. I did this. I'm going to call myself out. I'm not proud of this, but I was like, oh, I learned that Billie Eilish, I was like such a Billie Eilish fan. And then I found out she was 17. I was like,
she's a baby.
And then I was like, this is me being an idiot. I was like, oh, what does she know about depression? Right. And now,
depressed?
yeah. And now, cause I'm like 31.
We all do that.
I know. I gotta be better about that. I can't. The idea of being one of those guys that like is dismissive of young women is such a bad look.
You know what? I was talking about Ben Affleck.
Let's cut this out of the podcast. What?
No, I was talking about this with Ben Affleck about how like someone was like friend was like, oh yeah, he was depressed, and in my mind I didn't say anything out loud, but in my mind I was like, what is he depressed about?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, but and then I was like, I shouldn't say that because I'm always depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. But we all do it. We're all guilty of that.
You know what, too? I'm also like, everyone is going to deal with that. Like, to me, like, depression, anxiety, that's a state of being. And for some people, it is, like, an actual, like, clinical state of mind kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So, even, like, making that differentiation is helpful. But knowing at any point in your life, you're going to feel.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to be a reality.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that you and your dad are like, getting closer. And...
Isn't it cool though that my dad is like in his 60s and he's learning about
Of course it fucking
That's the coolest thing about him. Yeah.
My dad is not. Yeah, we're not having those kinds of.
Yeah, my dad, I can't talk to him about it. He's like staunchly like, my dad is very charismatic and he's very funny. So he's like me where he's very laughy and makes a lot of jokes, but he's very uneasy.
He got some strong opinions.
Sure. And I clash heads a lot with him. Like when it's family dinner, like me, my brother, him, and my little sister, like it's constantly him saying inappropriate things, and I'm like yelling at him.
So
would vibe.
Oh, possibly they'd be best friends. They'd be like women, right? that's exactly right.
Is he proud of you? Like when you come home with like, look, Charlie's Angels 3. Is he like, that's my kid?
I don't think he cares about that because he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
He doesn't care because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And I don't really fault him for that because I know what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, I love him because he's my father. You know what I mean? Like
I love him. I'm not sure I like him.
Right, exactly. I don't love him all the time.
I think John Mulaney has a joke like that. He's like, I don't think I would go up to them at a party.
But here's the thing, like, he's proud of my brother because he makes a lot of money, and my brother's very successful, right?
Yeah.
But I think he loves me because he sends me random texts being like, I love you. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's amazing.
He shows different
I don't get that.
coins.
Wait.
He shows different coins of like as like a
people are complex.
Right, people are. It's like as an Asian father, like my dad is very.
It's actually it can be really hard too, especially for dads to.
He's more open with that in that sense.
I'm just imagining your dad as like a businessman, just like looking up the numbers of your books on Comic-Con. He's like, I don't know, there is a difference.
No. He's like he has something to sell you all the time. He's that kind of person.
Oh no! You could buy shares in this company if you like got the paperwork right here.
My family could be a sitcom for sure.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
No,
Speaking of sitcoms,
oh my god,
what was it like growing up with one of those funny ladies, Robyn?
Yeah, Isaac and I have like some uncanny parallels.
That's right.
With my mom, she found it a little bit later. I was 12. So yeah, I think I was like in 7th grade, and she started doing open mics, and she had this background in theater and improv, and I always knew that was a part of her. But she shelved a lot of that to raise my brother and I for like, you know what I mean? She really feels like she took a decade to raise 2 kids.
Yeah.
And massive props. But yeah, then she like hit the ground running. She's been doing comedy for 15 years.
Does she go up often?
Go up on
stage. Does she work out a lot?
Okay, yeah. She performs.
Yeah.
I was like,
she tours.
Yeah,
she's a road dog.
She's a real comedian.
Word.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Get out of town.
She was doing matzo balls and meatballs. Was like.
Oh, you know what my mom's show was? It was Chopstick.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Yeah, and she even like trademarked it. She was like, she was so proud of the name. She was like, gotta get this. I gotta own this name.
Her mom's like singular show. Did she bring on other comics?
Yeah, she brought on other comics like Shecky Wong, like a lot of.
Wow.
Because my mom was the crossroads. So my mom, when she met my father, who's Jewish, so my mom was Korean, met my father, converted to Judaism, and so.
Jew.
Yeah. No. What was your bat mitzvah theme?
Okay. This was intense. We had a kids party at night. We had the reception during the day. Kids' party was a loose tropical.
Oh,
I want to call it
cute.
a vibe. It was like a 2-color tone tropical vibe.
Wow.
It was very it was pretty cute. Yeah.
What about yours?
Mine was so my mom was a stage parent. And so she had like she produced it like it was a Broadway musical. We would get into arguments. We would get into fights all the time about this because I hated performing. I hated it. And my mom was like, no, your art is drawing laser beam shooting out of asses. My art is this. My art is putting on parties and you're going to perform. Like, it was like textbook stage parenting.
This is my fear of, like, I feel like I'm going to become that parent when I have a kid.
Oh, I'm going to be the best dad. I'm going to be like, all right, so for my bar mitzvah, she literally, I don't know how she did this. A lot of this stuff, I'm like looking back and realizing how crazy it is now as an adult. But so like, I have my bar mitzvah, I do my haftorah and all that stuff. And then the sliding doors open to the party area and there's like the arch of balloons and there's the hors d'oeuvre table where my mom had a dummy head that she covered in chopped liver. No, I'm not even kidding. And then throughout the night there were performances. So like my brother, my father, and I got up on stage and we're seeing like numbers from Fiddler on the Roof and okay, but here's the thing. This was all
that is some bullshit.
Oh my god. Like my mom came out as Carmen Miranda and she did a number. Yeah. And this was all a practice run from my brother's bar mitzvah. Where and my brother's an actor now. You could see him on season 7 of Orange is the New Black. He's been in tons of commercials.
Congratulations!
Yeah. He just wrapped a play in Connecticut recently.
What's your brother's name? You gotta give him a little plug.
Jacob Goodhart on Instagram. Search him, follow him. You probably saw him in some commercial.
His bar mitzvah topped Isaac.
No, 2 times. I met him once years ago with Edwin's thing, and then for your birthday.
Yeah. And so my brother, who wanted to perform, he liked all the things that I hated doing.
So he's like,
yeah.
Bam!
Yeah. So the doors open for his bar mitzvah. Everybody's sitting down, and then they announce Jake like a wedding. They announced Jacob, and so he rolls in literally on a unicycle while juggling.
What the fuck?
This is real. And then he does he gets off the unicycle, he starts doing juggle sticks. I don't know if you ever saw that.
How old are you when you have a bar mitzvah?
You're 13. Yeah.
13?
So he's
These are big deals though.
Actually, you know what? We upgraded. We upgraded from my venue for Jake's bar mitzvah. His was at the Palisadium, which I don't know if it's still there, but it was this big like Korean banquet hall, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, and then, so my mom would have us perform. I'm forgetting some of the numbers, but one of them was Old Time Torah Scroll, a parody of Old Time Rock and Roll. So Jake slides in the socks. Hold on to your butts because this is a story. So Jake slides in and he does, I like that Old Time Torah Scroll, and he's got the sunglasses, the shirt, the white shirt, and the socks. And I'm 240 pounds at the time. So I'm 15. I'm a chunker, right? I'm like half my height. And we didn't do a dress rehearsal on this particular floor. So it's my turn to slide in. And I'm like a tiny bowling ball. And I completely misjudged the amount of friction is going to be on the dance floor, which, by the way, spoiler alert, is 0 friction. And so I slide in and I just take my brother down with me. And he does like a flip, like a cartwheel in the air. And we both land. And it's just like the most, oh God. So that I remember. That level of shame, I still think about it. I'm a grown man and I'll be in line at Starbucks and I'll get like flashbacks to that. And I'll just like remember the shame of knocking my brother down. And my mom's like, why don't you love performing? I hate it.
It's not a bar mitzvah until there's some level of emotional embarrassment.
Yeah. Oh my God. And my mom my mom made me take dance classes so that we could dance together. She wanted me to dance with her. And like, so I still remember like disco dancing. Like there's some Donna Summer song came on and I had to like dance with her. So that was my mom. Yeah. But she performed and she was a member of the Friars Club and
oh my God.
Yeah.
So how did she find comedy, your mom?
Well, she had She was always funny, and I'm sure it was a lot of friends saying like, oh, you should do stand-up, you have stories, you should do this, you should do this. And then she did a couple of open mics and made the rounds. I think her like claim to fame was performing at Caroline's in Times Square. So
wow.
Yeah, and then what a lot of people don't know about, and I've become obsessed with this story, is Jerry Seinfeld, when he was staffing a show in the early 90s, he called my house.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And so my mom would always tell us, like, I could have been a writer on Seinfeld, but I had to raise you two morons, talking to me and my brother. And so, like, I always, like, dismissed the story. I was like, oh, that's just mom being mean, and then I never, like, gave the story much weight. And then my dad overheard me, like, kind of making fun of my mom, because my mom would tell tall tales. She was, like, sort of like, she would, like, exaggerate and embellish. And so I'm, like, sort of making fun of the story. And then my dad overheard me and said, no, that story is 100% real. And I talked to Jerry on the phone. And so I'm listening to my dad's version of the story of Jerry calling the house and saying like, oh, this is Jerry, or whatever. And my dad going, what? Like thinking it's a prank call and asking for my mom. And my dad, when he tells the story, his head is in his hand. He's like this. He's like, it's just like one of the most shameful things in his life. One of his top 5 regrets in life is not like urging her to like be a writer on season 1 when he was staffing, and both of them being like, you got to raise these 2 idiot kids. They're like eating car batteries or whatever we were doing when we were kids. I don't remember, but
But she did a really fucking good job, because look at you guys. You fucking work for DC.
Oh, that's nice.
Jacob is a fucking successful actor.
Yeah.
I still stand by him. Like, when you see your parents go for it.
She fucking, yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote my friend a letter. My friend is Phil Seavey. He's got kids. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah, of course. I love Phil.
Yeah, everybody loves Phil. Everybody loves Phil. You should have him on this. He's got stories.
I would love to have him.
When you have him on, ask him about religion, and because he grew up Mormon, and the interesting thing about Phil, and we'll make sure that he's okay with saying this. I think I'm sure that he is, because he posts about it on Facebook. But he fell out of the church, and he's a very great ally to the LGBTQIA plus community. He posts about it, and he's very open-minded and articulate about his beliefs now, and he's got 2 kids, and so here you have a father who's like turning his back on essentially what was his identity for a long time, because it didn't jive with his beliefs now as he grew older. Exactly. And every time Phil posts something about it, I always read the comments, because there's always people from his church that are jumping in with being like, well, but also abomination, blah, blah, blah. And, I'll read this like crazy back and forth that you'll have with these people. They're very devout and religious. And he loves art. He loves comics. And so I'm just really excited for his kids, because they're growing up seeing their father stand up for what he believes in and pursuing something that makes him happy. And I think that as a kid, you need to see that. That's so important, And he's just a great dad. He's a great artist. He's a great dad. And I'm proud to know him. You should definitely have him on. That guy's got things to say. Sweet. Yeah, definitely. Shout out Phil CV, following him on Instagram. Triage just came out from Dark Horse Comics, and you can find all of his Tomb Raider work. That's what he's best known for. That's right. Yeah.
But no, it's like, I feel like we all, the 3 of us, have that in common, where our parents did give up a lot for us,
Yeah.
But but your mom, like, as unfortunate as it was that she didn't pursue it, it was probably her destiny to raise 2 brilliant kids. You know what I mean? It's like,
my mom said she never regretted it.
That's right.
Oh, my mom said that she always regretted it. She was so mean. My mom was so mean. Yeah. Oh, really? That's so funny. You know what I'll say about my mom? I don't mean to be mean about my mom. She when she was she was it's all fear, right? She just didn't want me to have a difficult life.
That's why my mom was like, I wish you didn't do it, but if you had to, I support you.
Yeah.
Because And my thing is like, you know, they had a lot of financial trouble. Like, she was very successful for a time.
Sure.
She invested in something my dad did that did not go well.
Oh, boy.
He left her, and it was like,
oh boy.
Yeah, so my mom had to start from scratch. So like single mom, we were very poor. For a long time. And when I mean like poor, we were poor.
Yeah.
So it's like,
oh, word.
Yeah. So my mom, I wish like she has like, I told her to write a book. So like maybe that's like her third coming. You know what I mean?
I remember
like,
getting really high in college and writing a letter to my dad that he should write a book. I like mailed him a letter. Yeah.
You should. You know what I mean? So like I tell my mom, write a book. Like do something creative, even if it's not like making clothes or doing fashion designing, you know? Do something like that. But then it's like, and the part where I say like raising the kids who do well is like, I feel like it's my obligation to do well, not only for myself, but to support her as well. Because she gave up a lot so I can go to do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so like, you know.
It is, because I'm like.
But it is. So now I'm like, I gotta fucking work all the time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know
What I will say is, when things started to turn, and I'm really grateful that my mom got to see me support myself with art, because then like she was always supportive, even when she was like, you were saying that your dad has like this major dichotomy, right?
Yeah.
So did my mom, where we would get into these like blowout, drag out
I'm sure.
fights about going to art school and going into art, but then at the same time she would drive me to the art store and buy me whatever I want, you know. And so it would be both. So it was a lot of mixed signals. It was very confusing. But it's all fear.
I don't know how to tell you other than
be angry. Yeah.
Because because fear makes you understand more. Question mark, right?
I don't.
But that's like the very Asian way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But when I started taking her to comic conventions, like in the last year of her life, I took her to FlameCon and New York Comic Con. And I'm like pushing her around in her wheelchair, and she's meeting people, and like important people are coming up to her and being nice about me to her. And then she, you know, it was a completely different story. She just wanted to make sure that I was going to be okay. That's all it was.
That is it.
What parent wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm saying this with hindsight.
Listen,
I mean, at the time when I was like 16 and I was an arrogant idiot, I was like, "You don't understand me, Mom."
Yeah,
you know.
Shit when I was 16 too.
I think of
right?
Cindy Crawford's son who just got misunderstood tatted on his face, and I'm like, get it fucking line. I'm sorry.
But what was your mom like when Robyn, when you were growing up? Was she like, whatever you want to do, I'm 100% behind you? That's sort of the read that I'm getting.
Oh, yeah.
Dad too?
Dad too, to a certain extent. I think like my dad and I are very different. My dad is
he a comedian also?
No.
My dad is a neurologist. So
wow.
So he had like the very cerebral, kind of like methodical guy.
My dad is very much that. Yeah.
Information, not as much feeling, more like tell me exactly from A to Z.
Yeah.
Exactly what the hell you're talking
a lot of why
he
questions, right?
He definitely was, he's the planner.
Yeah.
Oh.
My dad and I definitely, like, we grew into each other. We both agree, like, living not under the same roof actually made things better. We were like, I'll leave it at that. But, we're in a good spot now.
But as you get
my
older,
parents were creatively supportive. With the cautions on, which is, it sounds just like your mom. My parents were always like, you have your backup. There has to be a sense of realism. They were they were so aware that, especially when I wanted to go into acting. I'm curious what your brother's experience was.
Yeah.
We should have him on too.
My brother?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he would 100% do this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like me, but like very handsome, you know, and very like. You're
the ogre of the family.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do?
Steaming.
Will you get video capabilities ever?
I want. That's like
okay, because Jake's like thing is yo-yo tricks. He's got like 15 like high-end like $300 plus yo-yos.
How old is Jacob?
He can juggle?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he can do anything. Yeah.
How old is Jacob?
He's
He's younger though.
He's 30. Yeah, he's
Yes,
30 now.
okay.
I got him the best gifts ever. I got him like one of those expensive yo-yos, but I also went on Amazon and I got him with that
make
stupid
noises?
like glove and like belt clips. I got him like expensive belt clips where you put your yo-yo on. He looks like a turd. No, he's so extreme about it. I could not stop laughing.
Is his wife like, why the fuck would you do that?
His wife is mean about it. She does not get it.
Then you have over 50 yo-yos.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like,
That's
what the fuck is wrong
exactly.
with you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, what was your acting like?
I
Do you still
on
act?
Stage. Yeah, I haven't been
Yeah.
in like a year and a half, but
What's
I
the
do some
gig?
Improv. I did a show a year and a half ago that was really cool with Samuel Beckett.
Yes.
Waiting for Godot.
That's a name I heard of.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a name.
See?
Very bleak. So it was like they did a version on YouTube, and it was like a 15-minute play where you repeat on loop. The play is called Play. It's a man, a woman, the wife, and the mistress, and we're trapped in urns or barrels or garbage cans. It's just the head up. And Beckett did a lot of that, where like, you know, the woman buried in sand with just her head exposed.
Okay.
So like you're just trapped and you're repeating like emotionless
Yeah.
rant about this like
Yeah.
whatever happened in hell between this relationship. You don't know if they're in purgatory, it's a love triangle gone horribly wrong, you think. And it's a very like surrealist, out there kind of show, but it was fun. That was the last thing I did out of the city.
What did you do in that? Were you in the
was
sand?
white.
You were in the buried? Wow.
So I was in a
Very
royal
experimental.
drum. It was
Okay.
very- and the whole thing was like a freak show circus theme. So we were in this like abandoned. Basically, it was like used to be this giant. It's in Troy, New York. It used to contain a oil drum that would like light up the entire city of Troy, but now it's just this like dust floor warehouse, this big circular building that had like gorgeous acoustics.
Yeah.
And on the inside, they set up all these like plastic tents. It honestly looked like it was like a murder.
It was
horror
the pictures
show.
were really cool.
But it was cool.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun to do.
Oh, that's great.
So I would love to have Jacob here with you to
Okay.
talk to Robyn about this too. It would be like a really cool dynamic.
I'll put you in touch with his agents
With
and his
his
team,
agent, yes.
his management. You know, sometimes we'll call each other and I'll tell him my embarrassing, you know, stories of how I, you know, meeting an editor and the dumb things that I said to whoever works at Marvel. And then he'll have like his nightmare audition stories. I'm not going to tell you, but ask him about his peanut butter audition when you have him on. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah.
Do you eat during auditions is kind of a big one.
Really?
It's a question.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it a trick question where you're like, yes?
The answer is usually no. You do
Well,
not eat during an
obviously,
audition.
right?
But I once was behind the desk at an audition. This was a theater company I'd worked with there in West Hartford, or like Hartford County, West Hartford, Connecticut.
By the way, did you a lot of what you were saying with the last play? Is it a play that you were in?
Yeah, it's called Play. Yeah. Do you have any urge to perform either?
I would love to
Like
do. I would love to take classes, but I don't want to be like a famous actor. The reason why I want to do improv classes is because in the promotion of I'm just gonna say one of the comics I was working on, somebody gave me like a very like softball question, like easy question, and I'm like I panicked and I'm like sweating.
That's the thing, yeah.
And I'm just like, I didn't know what to say, so I just started like summarizing the book, which by the way was not the question. The question was not, hey, can you just summarize what your comic is? But that's what I was doing. Just it was so bad that some people started like uncomfortably laughing so I'm just like walking home. I'm like, I gotta light myself on fire. That was awful. That was worse than the time where I slid into the dance floor and knocked my brother over.
Yeah.
I would try stand-up, that's for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that from you.
Being, like, bombed and nobody laughing.
Well, I feel like that is a common thought among stand comedians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a whole book about bombing on stage, though.
But you have to, right?
Of
My mom
course.
told me about it.
Of course
She was
there
like,
is.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely have all the ingredients for. I've heard. I've listened to a lot of stand-up comedians talk about the same experiences that you have. Here's a question. Back to like our parents and how they feel
Sure.
about our careers and stuff. John, how does he feel about comics? And did he know about comics? Was he a reader before you
Yeah,
started
he
dating?
likes comics.
How did you meet?
Online.
Okay.
Which app for those of us
No.
who want to know?
No, he reads comics. He likes comics. He knows
Okay.
about comics.
Oh, interesting.
He likes comics. Sure, like he loves
Was
the
he a
movies.
DC Marvel guy? Was he like...
No, both. You know, like he loves DC like animated movies. You know, like he watches that on his
Oh,
own.
so he's like in it.
But he's like a casual fan.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I do.
But like he'll watch the animated movie by himself. He's indifferent. Like he thinks it's cool that I do it.
Yeah.
But he's a studious person. He's in like the medical field. He's very analytical.
He's got things to
he's
do.
not emotional.
I
Yeah.
meet a lot of comic book creators that date other comic book creators, and you know, by all means, like I'm amazed that it works. I'm amazed that it works. The meanest thing. You ever try to say something nice and it's
it
the
comes off
meanest
as,
thing.
Like a fucking
So I'm coming at this from like several different points of view, right? Because like a part of me, you know, I love that Danielle doesn't know anything about comics.
The thing. She doesn't know anything about comics, neither does John, but she's so fucking like, bam, in it. And I'm not jealous of that, because I'm so glad he's not in it. Because
Yeah.
I don't want my fucking partner to, like, I'm already in it. I don't need you to be in it.
Well, I've definitely gotten sucked into Twitter drama, and my social media accounts are all very
Mine's too. Yeah, you're
nothing.
very like just art.
I'm just art. But I've read like other people's arguments on Twitter.
I lurk. I'm just like
Yeah. We all do. We all do.
do.
I know so
But,
much
yeah,
about
articles,
people that
I've
I've
read
never
each
met.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Bleeding Cool a couple of times. I know a lot of things about a lot of people now. I'm not proud of it.
Exactly.
But you know, like it's easy. The reason why I bring it up is because it's easy to like get sucked into it and be like, oh, this is what the world is. And so I'm glad that I have someone who's not a part of it at all and keeps me very grounded.
Yeah.
So when she comes home from work and I'm like, oh, this person posted this and this person retweeted whatever, and she's like, none of this is. You need to stop talking to me about this. And that is something that I definitely need. When I meet my friends, they're like, oh, we met at whatever convention. I'm like, do you just talk about Twitter drama all day? Like, don't you get caught in, doesn't that perpetuate the cycle that we've all like gotten sucked into, you know?
Yeah.
That being said, the people that I met that I'm friends with that are in these relationships, they're great relationships. And I wish I had more of that too. Where like, because a part of me, I wonder if you feel like this ever, Sue. Like, I know how hard it is to break into comics, and I know how hard it is to get this job. Don't you want to like tell someone that also knows how hard it is, and for them to be like, oh my god, and like their brain explodes, so, you know, and like them know and like have that kind of insider.
If Danielle was in the comics world.
Danielle is so proud of me and she's so supportive.
She is. She's a great
She's the best.
partner.
She's
How did you guys meet?
We met at Dylan's Candy Bar.
Really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
We all
Candy.
Sue. Yeah, go ahead.
So something great came out of that.
No,
That's it.
she's hella fucking supportive. John is he's a silent partner. He goes to conventions.
Yeah.
And like he supports me. He's like he just like sits in the corner. Like if he'll get like food for me. He'll like carry my books for me.
Nice.
He'll like drag my stuff. He'll drive me around, and that's his support. But he's not in it. He doesn't care about being in it. But I prefer that.
Yeah.
I think friends
yeah.
who are already
great.
in it. I don't need to be in it all the time. And so
Yeah.
I'd rather prefer that he wasn't in the drama.
Yeah. Oh, you know, and another thing.
Or like he doesn't know,
But-
so I
but
could teach him.
I imagine he has his own drama from his job. You know, like, and
Yeah,
that's
the
that's
medical
the other
field?
thing.
Yeah,
You know, like when
that's the
people
real
talk
job.
about comics
Right.
drama
Right.
or
Yeah.
comics Twitter, it's like, what are you talking about? It's
Yeah,
the
I
same in
know.
every field.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
dad's job, and he's an old man. He should be retired, and he has office gossip. You know, it's the same anywhere because
course.
people are people anywhere. And so when people are like, "Oh, I need to get out of comics because it's too toxic," it's like, yeah, good luck. Where are you gonna go? Video games? Like it's this way everywhere. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It gives you good perspective too. Like I have a friend who's like a pediatrician. It's like my bad day, your bad day.
Yeah, absolutely. But
you know what I mean?
But the fun thing is, if you had a partner who's not in it, you can bitch about two different things. So you can be like, "Oh, here's what I hate about today," and then different stories. You know?
Yeah, and it's all and then you find out it's all the same. You know, Danielle has a background in dance, and my brother has a background in acting. All of our stories are the same. The terminology is different. Right. You know, all of our gatekeepers are different. Editors, art directors, directors, whatever it is. But all the experiences are the same. So
yeah, absolutely. You know. So I'd prefer if because I have my group, I have my friends, I have support systems. So it's like
have you guys dated artists in the past though?
No,
I wish. I wish that I did.
Mom, I would never date an artist.
Yeah,
I could. Yeah. If I was single now, I would never date.
I never date a comedian now
because I can't deal with a second version of myself and the neuroticism and the depression, and I can't deal with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, you know what? No, that's a lie. One of my exes was a photographer, and in college I had an ex who was an illustrator. So yes, I did, but there's definitely I've done it, so I would never do it again.
I think what would make me nervous about dating someone in this industry is
never in this industry though.
Is that it's so small. So if you date someone if you date someone who's in this group, all of their friends know everything about you.
Yes. And they'll take sides.
And people take sides, yeah. So that's the only thing that makes me really nervous about dating in the industry.
I feel don't you want to know other things? It's not even I can understand.
Don't you want new experiences?
Well, yeah, isn't that true though? Right? It's what if someone is I don't know. Let's say you and Daniel weren't together, and then you met someone who was in a zoologist, right?
Okay.
You can learn about zoology or animals.
Learn about koala bears.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's so
did you know they're marsupials? I did not. Thank you very much for teaching me about.
They have high rates of the chlamydia.
Yeah, they do.
The club.
Yeah, so it's
that's chlamydia.
Don't you want to learn more, about the world, or you know what I mean?
I don't. I have. If you're asking me directly, not particularly.
You want to stay.
I mean, I understand the appeal of dating someone who's just in a different world. Yeah. I also very much understand the appeal of dating someone who gets it, who just knows all the ins and outs of, and can kind of celebrate with you with your achievements and meet you with your failure, and
that's the comfort that I completely can see why people would go for it.
Yeah.
I totally get it, but me, I'm just especially in the comic, no, I can't handle two of that.
I mean, I get it. No, I definitely get it. But I also know comic artists, and they're both successful comic book artists, and they have great relationships. Or same comedians that date each other, and they have podcasts together. And right, yeah, exactly. Louise and Walt Simonson, who's better than Louise and Walt? Yeah, exactly. And some of them are collaborators. Yeah.
But I feel maybe that's really tough to come by, I think, because there's a lot of competition, and do you know,
yeah. Well, artists' egos, I think, are a little bit more acute.
Now more than so ever, right? I agree with that.
Oh, I don't know if they're more inflated now. I think that we see it more. Because of social media and there are people.
So much more apparent. So what if you had a partner who's more congratulated than you? Do you harbor jealousy?
Oh, see, I don't think that I have that though.
Are you verified before your partner?
That's so funny.
But again, this isn't just comics. It's about actors can feel this way too. Or,
they do encourage actors to date each other when they're famous, but not when
right. But they're oh, you got verified before me. Well, I feel some way.
So are you a jealous person? Is that something that you have to deal with?
I don't get jealous. I get envious.
Explain.
So I feel jealousy is oh, why did you get it? I'm oh my god, they're so good. Why am I not like that?
Oh,
That's envy.
interesting.
Envy is like, I wish I was like that because you're so fucking good. Jealousy is
Yeah,
like, damn,
I have that
deserve
too
it.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it ever get in the way though? Does it ever
No,
like...
it makes me want to get better.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, it drives me.
Yeah.
That's why we were talking about this. That's why I love reading negative comments.
Oh, let's get into it.
I love this segue. We were talking about how we have to talk about
Oh,
this.
Sue, you should start a podcast.
Bam. Oh my god. Good idea, Isaac.